Today I'm making pork spare ribs, rotisserie chicken on the barbecue, homemade coleslaw, and my signature dish, the mini potatoes and a cream of broccoli sauce. Okay, so first we're going to start with the coleslaw, because once it's finished I like to let it sit for a couple hours so the flavors blend together. So first we're going to have a green and a purple cabbage, red cabbage. We're going to peel the outside layers off and throw them away because they're no good. Okay. And I'm going to cut about half a cabbage. Depends how much coleslaw you want. For the amount of people I'm having, 2 halves of cabbage should be plenty. Or a little less, or a little more, whatever you like. But that's about all I'm going to need of this one. Same thing with the other cabbage. Peel the outside layers off and discard them. And then we're going to chop these up. Your preference how big you chop them up. If you like a more chunky coleslaw, you cut them in bigger chunks. Personally, I like them a little smaller. So So I'm going to start cutting them in slices like this. I do them fairly thin. Using the right kind of knife is important. You don't want it to slide down and make uneven cuts. So you're going to cut all your cabbage into, doesn't have to be perfect, just you're going to cut it again the other way, other direction. So then I'm going to cut them this way a little bit to make little slices. Okay, so I'm going to place these in the strainer because I'm going to wash them. I'm going to put these in the strainer. Okay, and I do the same thing with the green cabbage. Cut them in slices. No exact way to do it, just cut them in the slices the sizes you want, the thickness. My cutting skills might not be the greatest, but it gets the job done. Okay, and again we're just going to cut them in whatever size you feel like it. I like to do mine a little small like this. Should be good. You can put these in the strainer with the purple ones, and we can give them a rinse. Stop it.
Go ahead.
Okay, now I like to put carrots in it. I'm going to cut the ends off. I think 2 carrots might be enough. Once I finish with them, I'll see if I need more. Okay, so we're going to peel these. Just Give them a quick peel. Okay, one. Okay. And now for these, I like to use the same peeler that I've been using for the peels of carrot. I just peel them in slices. Okay, these are going to be cut in little pieces like this cabbage eventually. Rotate it every now and then so you're not getting the big flat chunks. You get a nice kind of even slices. You notice when you get to the middle, you got the center of the carrot a little softer, but just continue with what you're doing. A little pressure on your peeler there, so some nice thicker chunks. Okay, so all these slices, you're just gonna kind of gather them together and just make some slices, make some cuts. They will go in little pieces, so I'm just gonna put these in with the coleslaw, or with this cabbage, and move on to the next carrot and do the same thing. I'll be back in a minute after I do this to continue on with the rest. The next thing I like to add is apple. I put apple in my coleslaw, it gives it a nice sweetness. Just peel an apple, whatever your favorite apples are. I'm not even sure what kind these are. Okay, so peel your apple. If you have an apple core, just take the core out the middle. I don't have one, so I'm gonna cut it in half and just cut the core out. I'm sure people have an easier way to do this, but this is how I do it. Bit of an angle. And then just kind of pop it out. Okay, so however you'd like to core an apple, core it, get your pieces. For this coleslaw, I'm using 4 apples. So we're gonna core it. I'm just gonna show you again. I just cut it in slices. A little thick. You'd like to have a nice little chunk of apple in there with it. You'll see when you're finished making it that the flavor of the apple really hits it. Just cube them up a little bit, it's good. You don't want them too big, but you really don't want them too small. Okay. And that's it. And then we're gonna put it in the strainer with the carrots and the cabbage. Okay. And then I'm gonna do the other apples, and then I'll be back to continue. Okay, so now I have my cabbage, my carrots, my apple. I usually put celery in here too, but I just don't have any today, so feel free to add some celery in there. It adds a good crisp, a good crunch, a little bit of flavor, so I recommend the celery, which I don't have, like I said. So now we're gonna add the quick ingredients. Just some whip dressing, mayonnaise, Miracle Whip. This is what I have, so this is what I'm using. I usually put in about 4 big scoops with a mixing spoon, and you can add later to adjust. All right, so I like to put about a 1/4 cup of mustard, roughly a 1/4. Also, I buy the salad dressing, the coleslaw salad dressing. It gives it an old time coleslaw taste. I put about a 1/4 cup of that in there. And you're gonna just mix it up really well. You want it to be coat everything. If you need to add more, you can always add more. So just start off with around that amount. If you add any, you don't want to have too much in there. It's harder to take away later. Looks like I'm gonna. Looks like it's pretty good. I think I'm gonna add a little bit more of the whip dressing, Miracle Whip, mayonnaise, whatever. Maybe 1 more scoop. I think that should be good. Mix this together really well. I'm going to put a little bit of ground black pepper in there, just a little bit. If you like pepper, put a little more. Just give it a really good mix. Make sure it's mixed up really well, so everything's all mixed together. And we're almost done. We're gonna wrap it up, seal it with some foil, which is what I have now. I use plastic wrap. If you have a container with a lid, just put the lid on it. That's pretty much it. So cover it up, put it in the fridge, let it set for a couple hours while you're making your other stuff, and then it's ready to serve when the barbecued food is ready. And hopefully you like it. So, okay, so that's it for that. I'll be back in a few minutes. We're gonna show you how to make my potatoes and cream of broccoli sauce to go with this as a side, and then we'll continue on with the meats. Okay?
Go ahead.
Okay, so now I'm gonna prep the spare ribs. I'm gonna get them going. And then get the chickens on the rotisserie. While that's cooking, I can make the potatoes. So first thing I want to do is remove the membrane from the ribs. You can go in through the side here and pull up. I just like to make a little cut here with a piece of paper towel or a kitchen towel, and you're just gonna grab a hold of it and pull. Should all come off, but mine aren't coming. So I don't know. Stop. This no. Okay, again, we're gonna get a knife under here, lift it up a little, get your paper towel, grab it, get a good grip on it, and just peel back. Discard this. Okay, now that the membrane's off, some people like to trim up their ribs. I just do them like this. So on a bowl I mix some barbecue spice, some brown sugar, whatever spices you like, your flavors you like. You can find rubs in the local grocery store. So this is just some barbecue spice, some brown sugar. So you're just going to coat this really well. Give it a good rub. Make sure you get everywhere. You want it to stick. Some people put mustard or something on there. On the other side, I'm going to put mustard to show you what I mean. Let's flip it over. You can use regular mustard. What I have today is honey chipotle. That'll just help the spice stick more. Just put some of this on here. Rub it in good everywhere. You won't really taste this mustard once it's cooked. It just helps the rub to stick. I'm gonna spread this on here. Rub it in real good. Everywhere. Both sides are coated. Okay, so that's ready to go. I have 3 more racks. I'm going to get ready. It's the same process. Take the membrane off the back. Get your favorite rub. I'm going to do different flavors on the other ones, but you can use whatever you like, whatever you have on hand. And I'm going to prep the other ones and then I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to try something new for a rub for one of my racks of ribs. I got sweet chili heat chips. I'm going to grind them up into a powder in the grinder and I'm going to rub them on my ribs and hopefully they turn out good. So one second, let me try to figure out how to use the grinder. Okay, and I'm going to put this in here. Yeah, well, there we go. I'm going to use this too often, so, okay. So. Yeah. I want to grind them as fine as I can so it'll stick to the rib better and hopefully it doesn't burn while I'm cooking it. Okay, let's see. This is new for me to try, so I'm hoping this could be one of my new recipes. Okay, so over here I already have one of my racks of ribs membrane taken off, and I put some of the mustard on there to bind the chips. I'm gonna just gonna spread this out. Okay, I'm gonna put a glove on. You don't have to use a glove. I like to use a glove in my hand, so I don't have to. So I'm gonna rub this on real good. Flip it over. mustard. I'll rub this everywhere. Sometimes I use mustard, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just put the rub on, and I find it almost comes out the same pretty much. I don't have a favorite preference. So
Gordon Ramsay over here.
okay, so that's done. That's ready. I like to save a little bit of my rub for the end when it's on the grill when I'm putting sauce on it. I like to sprinkle a little of this over it to just to give it that flavor punch. So I have one more rack to get ready. I'm gonna prep that and then I'll be back and get them in the. I'm doing these in the oven and then the grill because my barbecue is gonna be used for the rotisserie chicken. So I'm doing the oven baked ribs and I'm gonna finish them off on the grill with the sauce, and we'll get to there in a bit. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I got the racks of ribs ready. This is a spicy flavor. This is the sweet chili heat chips. I got a pork rub, and I got the brown sugar and barbecue spice here. They're ready to go in the oven. I got it preheated at 350. I'm gonna put them in for about an hour and a half, and then I'm gonna take them out. I'm gonna wrap them in foil, and I like to put a little bit of apple juice on the bottom. And then I'm gonna cover it with foil, put it back in the oven for about an hour and a half. And once that hour and a half is up, they're ready to take off and put on the grill for about 5 minutes on the hot barbecue outside. Add some sauce and they're good to go. Let them set for about 10 minutes so the juice goes back inside, and they're good to go. So I'm gonna put these in the oven now and I will be right back. Okay, it's been about an hour. The ribs have been in the oven at 350. I got a bottle here of just apple juice. I'm gonna squirt some on the ribs to keep them moist and cook them for about another half an hour. And then I'm gonna take them and wrap them in foil and put them back in. So let's see how they're doing. They're looking good so far. Okay, so I'm gonna squirt some apple juice on here just a little bit. Keep them moist. It'll add also a little flavor. And the apple juice will help break up the meat a little, make it more tender as well. So they need to go about another half an hour. So when they're ready to be taken out to be wrapped in foil, I will be back and see you then. Okay, while I'm waiting for the ribs, I'm gonna make a sauce for some of the ribs. The other ribs I'm gonna put just plain barbecue sauce, but I'm gonna make something a little different for some of the ribs. So I'm gonna start in a pot, a little pot. I'm gonna put whatever kind of your favorite barbecue sauce. This is Kansas City. I'm gonna put about a half a cup of barbecue sauce. Okay, I'm gonna turn the gas on. I'm gonna turn the burner on medium low. Okay, now I'm gonna put a little bit of hot sauce in here and shake it up real well. So I'm gonna put a few drops in here. I don't want it too spicy because some of the family don't like too much spice. So, and then I'm gonna add some honey. So we're gonna get a bit of a hot honey flavor in the barbecue sauce. This I'm gonna put about a quarter cup of honey. Okay. Now we'll stir that up. You want to cook it until it starts to bubble a little bit, then we're going to turn down the heat, let it simmer for a few minutes, and then it should be done. Usually I make this near the end when the ribs are, when I take the foil off the ribs, but I'm doing it now just it's again, this is something new I'm trying, so I want to make sure it tastes good before I put it on the meat. So we'll give it a minute, let it heat up. It should just take a minute or so for it to start to bubble a little bit. I'm going to stir once in a while because you don't want nothing sticking to the bottom. As you can see, starting to bubble a little bit around the sides, so give it another stir. I'm going to turn down the heat a little bit. Now we're going to let it simmer for a few minutes. Give it a stir once in a while. You don't want it sticking too much to the sides. It'll help blend the flavors together as well. I can feel the honey on the bottom, so a good stir. And now, after it's done, it can sit for a bit, but before I put it on the ribs, I'm going to heat it up and give it a nice stir again a little bit, and then I'll baste it on the ribs, and then cook it a little longer and let the sauce do its thing on the ribs, and it's good to go. Okay, I think this is pretty good for now. Like I said, just before I'm going to put it on the ribs, I'm going to put it back on the heat for 2 or 3 minutes and stir it very well, and then I'm going to baste the ribs with the sauce on both sides. And I'll probably repeat that process 2 or 3 times before they're cooked. I'll do one coating of the sauce, let it cook for a bit. Do another coating, let it cook for a bit, and then maybe one more coating, and then that's it. Okay, so I'm going to turn this off now, and I'll be back when the ribs are ready to take out of the oven. Okay, it's time to take the ribs out and wrap them in foil. So, I'm doing that right now. Oh, these look good. So I'm going to pour a little apple juice in the bottom to keep them moist and to help them fall off the bone. It'll add some flavor, it'll add some, that's good enough. You don't want too much, you don't want to make them too wet. Okay, so now we're going to get oil. wrap these up nice and tight so no air can get out. I'm using this foil pan. You can use a cookie sheet, you can use whatever you have at home. So I'm just going to close these up nice and tight. And then we're going to put them back in the oven for about another hour and a half. And then we'll go from there and we'll have a look at them and see where they're at. So I'll put these back in the oven. Take the other ones out. Okay. They're looking nice. They smell great. I'm gonna add some juice a little bit. I'm gonna use some foil. Same thing, we're gonna wrap them up nice and tight. When you do this, be careful, the pan can be really hot, so just be careful. Okay, so you're going to put back in, let the heat do its magic, and once the time's up, I'll be back to take them off, to add some sauce, and they should be ready to eat. Thank you. Okay, it's time to take the ribs out. Check them. What I want to see is the meat coming off the bone a little bit. That tells me they're done. I don't know if you can hear that sizzling or not. Again, be careful, it's very hot. Okay, they look pretty good. Okay, so for these ones, I heated up my sauce again, the hot and honey sauce. So now I'm just gonna put some on here. Nice coating. I'm going to repeat this process probably 2 more times. After each time, I'll put it in the oven for about 5 minutes. I'm going to turn up the heat a little bit now. Okay, so I got the sauce on here. I'm going to put it back in the oven. And be careful doing this. When the steam comes out, it's very hot as well, so just be careful. It smells great. Okay, now this one I'm just going to put one of my favorite barbecue sauce on here. Kansas City style, this one is. Okay, I'm just going to put a bunch on here and then I'm going to spread it out. Cover everything. It's gonna be so yummy. Okay. All right. I raised the temperature to 450 just to give them a bit of a grill. I was going to do them on the barbecue, but it started to rain, so I decided to finish them off in the oven, and I will be back in a few minutes when these are ready for another coating of sauce, and we'll see how they're doing then. All right. Okay, I think they're done. I'm going to take them out. I'm going to let them set for about 10 minutes to rest, and then we're going to cut them up and we're going to plate them. So let's see how they look. Nice, you can hear a nice sizzle on there. So I'll be back, and after about 10 minutes when they set, I'll cut them up, and let's see what they look like on the inside. Okay, so there's a plate, there's ribs, 4 different flavors, there's the homemade coleslaw. I'm gonna dig in now and come back for the next video. I'm gonna be doing rotisserie chicken and mini potatoes with cream of broccoli sauce. Okay.